cliche intro song, but like this one, I love it so much.
It's gonna wake you up in the morning, so pumping. I love it.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know what I think we should get started with?
What?
A little bit of tea for these people. A lot of these people might not know the lore between, me and you, and how crazy it is that we're streaming together right now.
I know. I didn't think this would ever fucking happen.
No, me either.
I love it.
I remember specifically Bugs was like, you and Batgirl need to make up and be friends because I want you guys to stream together.
He told me the same thing. He told me the same thing.
Well, Bugs, get fucking happy because here we are at the lolcowcafe.
Yes, it's a beautiful day. So we have been through some shit.
Yeah. So I guess let's talk a little bit about how you first got into like lolcow and you being on Nerds.
Yeah, that was interesting. For the ones who do know, they would remember that that's when Becky was managing Nerds. And you guys were having a stream where you guys were like taking a stand and going up against her, right?
Yeah, Becky had fired me. Becky had fired me the stream before for a Minecraft server, totally unrelated to lolcow, and it was like some straight bullshit. And I ended up like clearing up my name afterwards, but you kind of came in the midst of all that, like me taking a stand and saying, "You're not firing me, bitch."
Yeah, yeah. She sent me in there, and I was just supposed to stir shit, so. I didn't know what I was going into. I took it as like playful banter and like whatever. But as soon as I came in there, I realized like what was going on and that you guys were like talking about like some serious shit. And I was like, oh fuck, why did this bitch have me go in here now? Like I look like a dick right now.
Dude, it was like a straight setup for you. Like they set you the fuck up. I was like, I felt so bad. I literally DM'd you after, but tell them what happened.
Yeah, I remember. But yeah, so I went in there and I was like stirring some shit. And I remember like everybody was coming at me being like, why the fuck are you here? Like, we don't even want you here. You know what I mean? Which is rightfully so, understandable. Like,
I feel bad about it now, though.
Yeah, it's okay. But I remember like, like you came for my looks and I was like, okay, maybe it's not like playful banter then. Maybe like this is like getting a little deeper. Maybe she's genuinely pissed with me. And that's whenever like you were like, well, what can you bring to Nerds? Because Becky was like, oh, here's this one. Like this one would be better and all of that. And I was like, I have a Lego to smash. I have a fucking Lego to smash.
She did.
I spent like 80 hours on. So I don't have the clip for that, but I can post it in the main chat in the Discord if people want to see if they missed it. But yeah, I smashed the giant fucking Coliseum Lego on the ground and like stomped on it, almost eating shit. But I did that for the entertainment. I did that for the content.
I'll give you your credit. That shit, it was like the biggest fucking like Coliseum, and I was an asshole. I didn't even fucking full screen her. I was like the worst fucking OBS runner back then. I didn't even full screen her. She smashes this Lego on the ground and is like dancing on the fucking graves of this Lego, and I'm just like sitting there like, yeah. Like she's just like little screen.
I thought it was out of spite, and I watched it back, and I was like, oh god damn it.
No, I was just the worst fucking OBS runner back then, and I like would get so like fucking overwhelmed running OBS that I would just like forget to do basic shit like full screening somebody. But we live and we learn.
Good evening, everybody. We are back, and holy damn, it's gonna be a long video, a very, very long, well-ish long video, just because there's so much going on, right? It's gonna be one of those videos. A lot happened, particularly with Taz. I'm just gonna straight up say it. Grim is fired. Just because of a lot of remarks he made, jokes that went too far. This is very comical thinking about it now, given the LCU and everything. And there's more to it, but we'll get into it. So first off, we're starting with cafes. Zayzuri hosted a cafe for Ken. Also, techtalk and cafe starting Tuesday. And mind you, I'm recording it late Monday night. Will be extending from 2 hours, right? They're going from 2 to 3 hours now. So, yay on my end. And so is techtalk. Really, this stream was just the girls being girls, which is hilarious because we're gonna get into that with dolls. And it's just Zay and Batgirl just talking about the history and how they first met. It's kind of wholesome for them to get along finally and, really enjoy themselves. I really, well, let's keep moving on because that's really all.
I heard there was an Asian man in the running. That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Sweet tea, I don't know what it is about you, but every time that you're on live, you have to, I don't even think that you're doing it intentionally. You just say what's ever on your mind, and it sounds so controversial. And I think that's why you're not that, I don't want to say you're not liked. People like you. People like how you're off the cuff.
Very, I think it's just like, do you develop it after? I mean, I do the same shit though. So like, I yap to yap sometimes, a lot of times. Not all the time.
I feel like I'm just saying the first thing that comes to my head without thinking of the repercussions, especially since I've been like around people that are like judging what I'm saying necessarily. So
That's true. Well, say what you want to say here, girl. Just don't break the TOS. for like
That's
YouTube,
true.
whatever.
Don't break TOS. But okay, so you hop into live. You're going to have this opportunity to show your stuff. The first thing you started talking about is the Pope died. Then you start talking about his corpse being paraded around.
Oh. Sweet tea, tell Pup about your slave driver fantasy.
Oh, sweet.
Controversy ever been in. Jeez.
Pop. Focus. Where is it? Jingle. Focus.
No,
We have a docket.
no.
Open up the docket. So we can see what we're going to talk about next, because we're still on the first thing about how she came up into the LCU, and you want to blast through into the heavy stuff so quickly.
Because let's get to the juicy bits. When you bite, do you eat the bun off a burger, or do you bite the whole thing and revel in the meat?
You know what?
Yes.
You want me to be unhinged, because that's what you apparently want me to
Yes.
be. You want me to say some unhinged shit. You have to do some
we want-
foreplay, okay? You have to take it slow. You have to build up the excitement, okay? You can't just rush into it and freaking. No, that's not how this works. You have to
But
start.
like, what if you're into like finger blasting or
Actually,
some shit? Like, what if you want?
You
to
still
just, like,
don't.
Laser 1123 super chatted $20. W sweet tea. But the people do want to know about the slave fetish.
We will get to it. We will get to the slave stuff, okay? But we have to start slow. We have to edge the audience just a little bit. This is the word. Oh my god, so many sexual innuendos. But okay, you kiss their cheek, you kiss their lips a little bit, you go down. Okay, you're building up excitement, and then we can talk about it.
This is no excitement building, girl. Who came on her first day? Okay, your fuck ass fit was cute. I love the bow bitch, but what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, but there's so much. We only have 2 hours. We have slaves. We have shaking
Exactly.
ass,
We have 2 hours, and we're only at 30 minutes, and you want to get into the good
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. I'm gonna go nice and slow for you, beans. I'll take it slow.
Take it slow for me, just for me, baby, just for me. So let's also talk about, that was your first appearance on LCL. Obviously, a whole bunch of people liked you. They saw how you had potential. You do not care what you say, you just say it, right? And that's something that a lot of people in the LCU do not have. A lot of people are very cautious. A lot of people are very aware of like how dangerous it can be whenever they say something. But you, like, that is not the first thing on your mind, right? But let's go into your first day as an intern. Let me get this clip
I
ready.
definitely don't remember that one.
You being an intern?
Not for the first day. I don't really remember that one.
Yeah, so I miss the old. Oh my god, that reminded me. The old theme song for Cafe. I miss it so much. I still have it as my alarm to wake up in the morning. But yeah, when it comes to your first day on Cafe, you were late.
You told me not to show up until later. You said we were doing a cooking stream or something, and not to show up
No,
till
that
later.
is not your official first day. That is not what we talked about in DMs. Don't try it, sweetie. So our first year, okay. So we were having a cooking stream, a TTS cooking stream. We told you that, hey, we have this thing that we're gonna do. We don't know how you're going to fit into it, and you're going to be like just thrown off, and we're gonna be thrown off, right?
I'm gonna be real with you. Most adults it's what you expect. Them going over some drama, relating with something with nightmare and grim. Sweet Tea got higher on dolls, which is cool on her. But to be real with you, what caught my interest in this particular stream, and I wish I had the clip, I didn't, was some of the thing Pupstar was saying about being like, everybody's racist, or everybody needs to learn how to be not racist, and I'm just like, damn, she's gonna be entertaining. Oh yeah, Twiggy's also back. Why I find that entertaining? Because it's gonna be hilarious for people to push back on her, especially those who like strongly disagree with her. Now, obviously, she was going on about all wokeness and leftists and all that, which is hilarious because she said a number of things that are kind of contrary to that, which is going to be even more entertaining. Now, do I think everybody's a little racist? I do think that. But I don't really want to get it deeper than it has to be. Because I feel like if I go more deeper than I would probably get the channel shut down. And I don't want to do that. But it's just something that caught my interest with Puffstar, because she really started to get actively more offensive. Or just she started to get more riled up. And the chat was trying to get her more and more riled up. To really just kind of push it and see where it goes. Sort of remarks that Keemstar literally, had to pull her from the side to tell her, like, hey, stop what you're doing. This is not a good look. We don't want to be drawn in, Because, obviously, if other people start to hear this, especially those who are more right-wing, not trying to dog whistle, hear about that, they're going to, like, slowly pick apart this, right? Really get into it. Now, obviously, it's not my position to really talk about it. Obviously, it's my position to talk about what happened throughout this stream, but it's not my job, really, particularly to talk about political stuff like this. Not that I don't occasionally. It has to be something much more. Because the stuff she said is stuff I've heard from 10 years ago, and I really strongly disagree with a lot of she was saying. Right? Just simply accusing everybody, regardless of race, as being some form of racist. It's a little out there. It's one thing if you're going to accuse the system. This is a whole separate thing in itself. But to accuse just regular old people who are just not like that. It's way, in my opinion, was comical. It was hilarious. I think she's wrong, but again, I'm not here to go into that kind of topic point. Let's move on to nerds.
I am. Did you hear that part also where they said genuine question?
Man, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Something smells like somebody farted. Cause I don't really want to get started. But this young boy was tricked by this beat up harlot. Oh my God. Why? Why they playing this molecular shit? I can't even fucking speak. This shit was saying this is gay ops. If I don't know if I'm using that's like the shit that they fucking did it. That fucking my nose is stuffy, but I'm pretty sure this man was seduced by a hussy. Oh my God! All
it's funny you say that. I'll skip ahead in the story just a little bit because it's really funny you said that. It's really funny you said that.
I don't mean to make this no joke, but all this situation.
So with Nerd, they did a little bit of like a content comp style video, really exposing more of the situation with Grim and Nightmare. Now we are gonna bring this back up again when we get into live, and even with Rewind, because they really brought this up again, and this kind of resulted like a bit of a snowball effect, where it's sort of them covering this, them revealing that Nightmare did lie, the other girl lied about the situation as well to cover their asses. With, and I'm gonna be real with everybody, this situation and everybody lying or just like getting mad about it, in my head it's just like, what do you expect? Do you expect some type of degree of like here's the thing is, I don't expect there to be a high standard with the LCU. They're, you know, time and time again they have shown that they like to post this idea that they have standards, that they're above, not that they're above everybody else, right? But like they're sometime above criticism. And not even that, it's also just these hosts have a tendency to develop an ego, to be extremely prideful, right? Pride before the fall, right? Which is probably a good title of this video to really describe. But I think I have to probably, I think I'm going to wait till the end of the week to probably do a whole video on the fall of Tess and the firing of Grimm, which really has its root with the whole Bean situation, then this whole situation with Grimm, right? That's sort of the beginning, and you could even say that it started a little bit also with the whole like Nightmare just lashing out on Billy, right? But they were, nerd for most of the stream, they really just outed Tess. And it makes sense. They have a long blood feud with them, ended with, again, obviously Michelangelo becoming the new host because obviously Grimm got fired permanently, which is very rare, right, for a host to actually get fired. But I guess this is like the fourth time where you had Lynx, Grace, Wings, Savage, now Grimm. So it's 5 times. 5 times in a year they have to go through and fire a host. Like, fire. Now back to the whole Michelangelo situation, which is gotta probably be talked about a little bit more, but it's probably gonna be overshadowed with the Grimm stuff. Here's my honest opinion about the situation. On one hand, I do feel bad for the guy. On the other hand, what do you expect from the LCU? I don't know. It's like, it's very saddening that this happened on the L's, but no. Like, not even that is sad. It's more like an event of things that went wrong that could have easily been prevented, and they didn't. First off, the fact that you went after an autistic kid who was probably not working a real job. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, because I thought he was working a job, but he gets a check. Again, if he is working a real job, my apology. But if he's not, the fact that even still, it's even bad. It's bad regardless if he's working a job or not. The fact that he still went after his own money just so you can And even Keemstar took some fault for it because of his own reasoning. Because he should. Ultimately, it's just like, all right, well, all of that is messed up, and you should have never done that to begin with. But on the other hand, it's like, Michelangelo, I understand you have autism, but like, have you never heard the stories of like multiple autistic people being attacked? It's like, on one hand, a lot of the fault is in the LCU, in particularly tests. On the other hand, there's that small percentage of, hey, dude, I get it, you're autistic, and I get it, it's hard to find girls, and hopefully one day you find it, but not in the LCU, and I don't know what he's like in real life. I'm only going off of what I see in the show, right? And I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this, but it's like, you probably shouldn't. And if this is the first time this has ever happened to him, then I feel bad. But I hope it's a lesson to be learned. It's one of those things where, like, I'm willing to give slack on the grounds of, this is the first time this has happened to you, I feel bad for you. But this has happened multiple times. Because it's had, like, trust me, I know people who are, like, in that spectrum, the autistic spectrum, and a lot of them do get gypped. And when do you say, shame on me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, or something like that, right? You know the saying, right? I think I said it backwards. And again, I'm not trying to come off as an asshole, but it's like, hey, should have not probably done this in the LCU, but a lot of the fault is still in the LCU, and I'm not trying to victim blame, but like, yo, dude. And from what I understand, Michelangelo did tell people about this, but I'm very confused why nobody tried to like investigate a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe there. I don't know. A part of me feels like there's something much more deeper going on, but I could be.
If I can, my nubs. I'm ready. I'm telling you, I've been through hell and back for the past 2 weeks, and I have not got proper drunk.
I'm not going to leave you alone.
I know. I was looking for that online when I was like sitting at lunch with my kids, and I'm looking online for it, waiting for the food. They didn't have it. So I'm like, well, maybe they'll have it in the store. They didn't. So.
But I've had people recommend that one to me actually. So I'm really. You use your teeth to open things, really?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be surprised. All right,
Fuck
well,
you. Just fuck off.
How about you fuck off? I don't care that it's your birthday. I don't care. I'll still make fun of you. All right, so here's what we're doing. It will be like a typical drinking stream where it's $50 for a shot for Roxy. I will I'll drink with her too, but I might have to tap out a little early because I got another show to do after this one. And somebody's got to be the responsible one here. But I'll be a little irresponsible, just a little.
Well, I was supposed to go to the casino after, so if I'm drunk, I won't go. I'll just stay home and celebrate.
I live right by a casino too. I don't really like gambling though. Are you a big fan of gambling? You probably would be. I can imagine.
Oh my god, girl! I won trips. I won cruises. Yeah.
Are you for real? Yeah. All I ever do is lose money.
No, I mean, trust me. I lost. I'm a VIP member. Like I get free complimentary rooms, like suites there. Trust me, I lost more than I won.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I haven't been since our income situation changed. But yeah, like me and my sisters are up there. Probably 2-3 days sometimes we used to be.
A week.
And they would give us free 2-3 days at a time. We'd be up there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'd be playing. I actually won. It was a 150 people tournament. There was 2 women in there. I came in top 3. I was the only woman to come in top 3.
What did you play?
Texas Hold'em poker.
No way.
Yeah, I came in top 3. We ended up splitting it at the end because we each had stacks, like our stacks were the same, and it would have went forever. So we just took it 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for the compliments on the new chair, guys. I finally finished getting it built, except that I can't seem to zip this part right here, so it looks a little funky right there. I like pulled with all my strength and it won't zip.
I couldn't even tell.
I'll have to figure it out another time. Well, I'm always telling on myself anyway. But thank you. I finally have backrest. It has a little recliner, so now I could do like a little footrest thing that pops out and everything.
Oh, I gotta get one. My back is hurting today. I don't know why.
So now I could do longer streams and not complain about it. Cynthia, thank you for the $2. Love
you
both
Cynthia.
working together. Oh, I'm having fun too. But you seem a little low energy today, Roxy. What's up with that?
It's just I'm telling you, the older you get a shit out of me. The older you get, it's like the more depressed you get when your birthday comes. It's like I was happy all day just for my kids, my grandkids, but I don't know. I need to get fucking spunked up and in the mood for something. I don't know. Let's get something.
Well, maybe we could start it with a 50 for you. Can we drop a 50 for Roxy to take a birthday shot? Lunatic Trucker also says, happy birthday, Roxy.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Not much happened on Milkers. Just not much happened. I don't know what I can say that can fill in this time spot. All right, because the next couple clips are just going to be just one thing after the other, to the point where I'm just like, gotta trim some of the fat out. I just gotta trim the fatty out. It was Roxy's birthday. Happy birthday, Roxy. I personally don't care. I don't really like Roxy too much. So I don't know what else I can say or what else I can do or whatever. Let's move on.
Oh, let me retip fucking Discord. All right, so let's watch this again.
The first one.
Okay, so Zayzuda is exposing a bunch of stuff. I mean, Rastos already seen this, so he doesn't have to be here for this. Let's just continue with the show. You see that, Boogie?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
This is what Nightmare said afterwards about the situation, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, Michelangelo. Nightmare said, yeah, we made a massive fucking mistake. I've learned a lot about being more cautious, and that doesn't change the past. But it helps us move more carefully in the future. That's all I have to say. It wasn't done maliciously, but it happened and people got hurt, which was not our intention. I disagree with that, but...
Yeah, what do you mean? Is that me or like that's the most backpedal shit of the century? And why the fuck wouldn't you say that on live when you were already up there? You had to go have a...
Yeah, when I brought him up here, he wasn't taking any accountability. He was just making excuses. It was pretty annoying. And then apparently it came out that Nightmare has a side server.
This news.
What?
Test VC are talking about leaving the server because I showed their chat, even though Nightmare has done the same thing with the pic that I posted in Nerds VC. People have posted Nerds VC and showed it on streams a million times. You think your Test VC chat is safe? You think you're fucking safe in there? Nah,
they're all
bitches.
gone.
How many
They're all
crowns we
out
got?
there. They're not huddled in their nest anymore. Where'd they go? Where did the testes go?
Do you think that the host can't look in there and see what you're doing, you fucking skeevy motherfuckers?
Bro,
You're just gonna
bro,
run off to your side server. You're gonna run off to Nightmare's side server now. We all know where you're going. It's fine.
Why is Nightmare not here? Nightmare should be, he's always in the Discord. So this what kills me. Why the fuck do we turn the light on and they scatter like fucking roaches? It's just crazy. Look, Xylee literally just said right here, yeah, he's saying it's a docket server for docket stuff.
Then show the server live on air tonight.
Don't we have those built into the
ours says nerds content group?
Ooh, they're already moving the cult out of our Discord.
Of course they are. These cocksucker motherfuckers.
They're moving the fucking cult out of our Discord. All right. So wait, you're saying
that
this
side server is not actually a side. It's they have a server for their docket team. So instead of using a docket chat, they have it all in that server. So they have different tabs and shit like that.
Yeah, because
perfect excuse.
They're lying.
But they don't even have all that. They have like 4 people or 5 people in there.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, then that's fine. All right.
I vetted that like 2 days ago.
Now every cult starts with 3, 4 people.
All right, guys, let's play the clip.
Lila, would you go on a date with Exile Warrior?
Hey, Grim.
Lila's got a crush on you.
Man to man.
Hey, for a crown, Lila, come on. Think of the free skin.
Come on. For a crown, Lila. Wait. So it just sounds like.
Oh my God. Nightmare has been using Lila to fucking riz up these guys to get them to be fucking pay pig and crowned. It's right there.
Yep.
That bitch lied to my face yesterday in the Discord. Nightmare has lied to my fucking face. They're lying to me, just like I said.
Yep.
Bro, when I was watching Nerds today,
She's
dude.
banned. She's banned. No,
holy
she's
shit.
banned. She's banned. She's 100% banned. Your ass is not coming on my shows anymore. No, she's banned. What the fuck is her name?
Lila.
Fucking stupid ass fucking hussy motherfucker. Banned.
That's creepy.
You're fucking banned, dude. Nightmare's been asking you to riz up guys. Banned. You're not gonna fucking riz up guys to try to get them to donate to one of our shows. You're not doing that. Fuck off. Bye. Are they banned? All right, I think they're banned. That's crazy.
I would say so.
That is fucking, bro. I'm like in disbelief. I knew this was going on and I kept getting lied to over and over again.
Nobody and someone 82 super chatted $20. Damn, the end of the world isn't being kind to Rascon.
Dude, it's not the smoke from this shirt, by the way. It's fucking killing me.
Nah, dude. Oh, they're in. Bro, I gotta watch this clip again. I gotta watch this again.
Wait, would you go on a date with Exile Warrior?
Hey, Grim.
Would you go on a date with Exile Warrior?
Lila's got a crush on you.
Man to man.
Hey, for a crown, Lila, come on.
For a crown, Lila, come on. Bro, what the fuck? Nah, that's 4K caught.
Yes.
You should keep going because I can't remember if there's more.
Huge ass. Yo, huge ass. Please come at Boogie again and say that.
So yeah, I know I skipped a bunch of clips from Nerds, mostly because I wanted to get into Rewind because a lot of the stuff just happened with Nerds. You know, now thinking about it, let's be real. What happened on live today? You know how I said that this stuff may last like maybe up to Wednesday or something, maybe Tuesday or Thursday. Never mind. That's completely changed. That is now going to be going much. The topic has now changed from grim and Nightmare screwing up because of Michelangelo. Now it's going to be because of Grit. And I guess I can get into it now. So if you're not aware, and I decided not to clip, I mean, I do have them clipped, but I decided not, for my own reasons, not use the clips that were used in live for the particular reasons of I don't want this channel to get flagged for stuff like that right now. But mostly because hey, Grim says some offhanded stuff related to Mr. German Man from 1940 and things about black babies that were so offhand that even I was shocked, right? I'm here thinking like, oh, Grim is just a milk toast, liberal flora, something like that, right? Muslim guy, which he's not. Billy straight up said that Grim is not Muslim, which I knew that. I knew for the longest time that Grim wasn't really Muslim. Or maybe he was like Muslim this, Muslim that, but not really. Again, I'm not trying to get too far into that topic because, people can get upset about that. But I'm not the only one who felt that Grim, wasn't a Muslim. I knew Grim wasn't. I knew he was playing, right, about that. Right, I felt that for the longest time that he was just using it as a costume, right, or just LARPing as in Muhammad, however you technically pronounce the actual people offhand. Yeah, he brought up things related to related to the things that happened in World War II. He brought up things of that particular nature, and I was just very shocked. Right, I'm very shocked because I didn't expect that kind of stuff coming out of him. Because even Nightmare was just very much like stunned. Now, obviously, a lot of the folk can be putting on the fact that like these guys don't watch tests, and so you can say that they're playing ignorant. I don't think so. There's a part of me that thinks that people knew about this for a long period of time. Like there's no way. Like I'll straight up think I do think that people knew about this, but never said anything because it wasn't convenient at the time. And maybe some people think that I'm coming off like jaded, but like let's be real. Let's be 100% real. There's no way that they didn't knew about it. There's no way that they didn't knew about this stuff. If this happened like a couple days ago, right? Let's just happen over the weekend. I can believe that, but there's no way that this wasn't going around and this wasn't being talked about, right? And the whole thing about the side server stuff. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Just because, let's be real, they're always going to use the excuse of, well, these side servers have people who do really bad things. Not realizing that those side servers were created because of the result of the LCU particularly. So you created your own enemy. You created those servers, And essentially, that's what ended up happening. But yeah, back to the whole situation with Grim, it's insane. Like, I don't even know, right? Because we get into this whole thing about these quests and this whole thing about comedy. Like, it's something that I don't know how to respond to. And then again, like, what else can you say? What else can you really go on about this, right? Which resulted in Grim getting fired.
At $19.99. Okay, so Roxy and Tina just put Edgy in front of what you say you job secured. Majaha super chatted $20. LCL, here's my last dono. I'm done. I can't support this. I wish you success and good luck.
Thank you, Maja. I appreciate
Visio
you.
Prowess super chatted $19.99. Keen. He bullshitting you. There are 1,000s of people who'd love to have a show. Throw this bum to the curb. You owe him nothing. Mafc super chatted $32.54. Edgy jokes are old school YouTube. Let's bring old school YouTube back. The Gamers Asylum super chatted $20. Grim is defending his statement. It wasn't a joke. My family has served in the military for generations and too many were lost in World War II. The only joke here is Grim is even getting consideration to have another chance.
Grim, unfortunately, this is just like one of those things where like I have to part ways with you. It's just too heavy. Too heavy.
All good, bro.
So
no, you're all good, bro. I got you, fam.
Yep. Grim, you're out.
I appreciate it, boss. Yes, sir. Hope you have a good
I got you, fam. What the fuck?
we have to fire Grim. I mean, it's just so like, dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was thinking, okay, we'll do some learning on World War II. He'll make.
Justin super chatted $20. I'm sorry for the words I've said. I've come to understand why they were wrong and have changed my view. I've learned from my mistake and won't be like, promote, or excuse this again.
Yeah.
Test.
Yeah, the easiest thing in the world just said that. Why is it I have to teach people how to apologize and they still don't fucking listen?
Nightmare, turn on your camera. Look,
it's not working anymore.
well,
I'm sorry.
You got to get it working.
Jump on your phone.
Here's the thing. I was thinking like maybe I could like teach Grim that how hurtful the shit that he's saying is. And
so yeah, Grim is on fire, and he has been replaced by Michelangelo. I will try to cast. I probably will do the test stuff. I'm probably not gonna upload this video too much later into the day, like I usually do to begin with. We will see what happens, right, with the tests and everything. So, you know, if this video comes out a little later than usual, like a little bit more into like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that's why. Let me be real. Let me be genuine. Given the amount of controversy the LCU've been through and them removing Grim, you can't deny that it is the only option. Them completely firing, because Grim, you can tell that Grim doesn't care. Right, he wouldn't care one bit. If he had Beans, I can imagine Bean would try to convince him, but he's a guy who just doesn't count, and I guess you can respect that. But given what he said is like, given these kind of people and the way they do their job, I don't know. It could be viewed as some type of double standard. Personally, it's like, hey, it's what do you expect from these people? It isn't like the LCU in the past hasn't been accused of racism or some type of anti-Semitism in the past among their members. It isn't like this isn't the first time stuff like this has happened. It isn't the first time that people lie about something as a way to cover their ass, and we've seen it a number of times. And ultimately, in the end of the day, when it comes to the LCU and this kind of stuff, you know, Keem has to do what he has to do, and that's just who he is. You know, and they later on try to put in the whole alt-right stuff pipeline with the alt-right has been dead for years. It's just a true fact. If you're trying to make people like Hassan Piker and Destiny as the new alt-right, that's really dumb. That's a dumb opinion. You should feel bad, right? I don't think that. I obviously don't think Hassan or Destiny or people like. Now, I do think someone like Destiny doesn't give a shit. He'll say whatever is controversial and be contrarian because that's who he is. Hassan Piker, I think Hassan Piker is anti-Semitic, but not because he cares for the Palestinians. I think he just is because of his. It's whatever, right? And again, I feel like me just going over to talking about this in my head is like, given that who these people are and given how hard they try to be edgy in the way they are, yet if you try to combat, it's not even, you know, in my head, just even trying to talk about it is tricky because I can easily get hit with something, and I'm not trying to do that. So let me get into what is the future of the of Tess. And I think with Michelangelo, Tess may get hit hard and it may crumble, or it may succeed. Maybe it would be Nightmare trying to do his best to make this so successful. And again, I probably won't catch it live, but I probably will catch it after, right? And I'll make this video come out a little later just so I can give my opinions on that, right? I don't know what else I can say. Nightmare is staying because he puts everything into this. And I think Keem respected him for that one. Let's move on.
You've gone without a redirect now.
They're on at the same time as us, and who's going on after them?
Good fucking question, actually. I don't know.
Because
I
they usually go live
before. I don't know if they're
They
going
do 3 or
twice.
4 hours. They go live for 3 or 4 hours. They don't have to do a 2-hour minimum like we do.
So they're probably just going to be live for 4 hours. They're probably going to take our redirect too. And not for nothing, I'm sorry, but it's really easy, Rewind, to do a show when you don't do what your boss fucking wants you to do. Boy, I could do a show like that all fucking day long. They don't listen to what Keem wants them to do, so of course it's fucking easy for them. They don't rewind shit. They don't.
Beans, what is it like to be, what was it like dating for 7 years, a racist motherfucker?
They're going for 4 hours. They're going for 4 hours.
See, that's why we never did. See, that's wrong. Keem, if we gotta be content creators for 2 hours to make our fucking money, why do they get to go 4 fucking hours?
And why do they get to drink while they do it? This is the shit I'm talking about. Blatant favoritism. Or in their case, I don't even think it's favoritism. It's just he doesn't touch them because he knows Xylee will put up too much of a fight. Tina doesn't want to get into it about Xylee, and I don't blame her. It's smarter to stay out of it. That's fine, as long as I get to talk my shit.
I don't give a fuck. You're grown. You do what you want to do. I'm just saying, Xylee's never done shit to me. Never said nothing to me. So I'm not gonna fucking join just because Becky hates her. I don't join hate trains. I have my own opinions, my own outlooks, and I have my own fucking mouthpiece. Period.
Well, Brantley doesn't like me for good reason, because I'm probably the first person in the LCU that I know of that blatantly attacked her out of nowhere. And I did, because I'm like, no one else attacks the boss's girl. Well, somebody's got to fucking do it. I'm not afraid. I'll do it, because I attack everybody. But Xylee's the one I have an issue with, because Brantley, I don't hold to the same standards. She's not a host. She's Keem's girlfriend. She does something different. But but Xylee, really? Like, there's no reason to be keeping a fight between us going. But I don't like it because it's very passive-aggressive. I was just talking in Discord and I mentioned her once or twice, playfully being nice. Then she talked about blocking me. It's like, bitch, you know you're poking for a reaction, Xylee, and you better be careful because one day I'll give it to you and I will not give a fuck. Today's not that day, but tomorrow might be.
I'm not gonna even fucking
Quantum
beg.
Chris super chatted $20. They're going 4 hours because they're competing against your time slot. Then have their scheduled time slot right after. Ain't that complicated? Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Well, I don't think Tina said it was complicated. She said it's not fair. She said it's not fair. There's a difference. How are you going to compare us? How are they going to say they're even if they ever beat us or come close to beating us in numbers, how the fuck is anyone going to say they're number 2 over us when they work 5 times as many hours to get it? It's not the same thing. They don't put on a high energy show. Billy takes 5 hours to say a sentence. No hate. He's from the West Coast or lives on the West Coast. I'm on the East. I'm an impatient New Yorker. Half the time I run out of patience just waiting for Billy to finish his sentence. And then all Xylee does is sit there and say true and repeat the same shit that he does. Tell me, that's not fucking hard. No wonder they could do that for 20 hours a day.
Hey.
What, Tina?
Shut up, pussy! That's
Well,
all I ever hear.
At least Billy does the funny shit like that. Like, and the thing is, I used to watch Rewind all the time, but you know what? They, honest to God, don't fucking rewind anymore. So what am I tuning in for? To see the 11th fucking show on the LCU repeating the same shit as everybody else? They're supposed to be the show that I don't miss every day, so I can know what the fuck is going on. Same for you. We shouldn't have to be spending our entire days watching every show. We should have a recap show who does that. But certain people think they're too motherfucking good for it, Xylee. Maybe it's because you hate your fucking job. I'm about to go off. Maybe, Xylee, it's because you hate your fucking job. You sit there looking so unenthusiastic and like you're miserable to be here. Why don't you try to like the fucking dream, bitch? And if you don't, give the dream to someone else.
Well, look at here. Wait, hold on. So they're competing for our time slot, but they get 4 hours to do it.
And they get the redirect, which never made any
they got to
sense.
redirect. So they should have to not get a redirect. Go 2 hours like us, and then decide
And no
who gets
Brantley.
time slot.
And no Brantley and no giveaways. Fuck off with that shit. You know that's not fair. Keem, just be honest and say what you're really doing, which is, since Queens thinks they don't need the redirect, I just want to give it to every other show. Fine, say that, but don't act like it's a gauntlet or a competition, because it ain't.
Well, first of all, it doesn't matter what time you go. Your supporters will be there, Keem, no matter what time you give.
I had a different clip to begin this video, and I decided not to, so I'm going to use it, Becky. Becky went up against Rewind, and Rewind was matching them both in viewership and in dono. Their big dono was to put a pie on their face. It's very stupid. But it was kind of interesting that, yeah, Becky, I don't think Becky is necessarily the first person to attack or even call out Brantley. That belongs to Grace, actually. That's for a number of reasons. I do think it's mostly due to a bit of jealousy on Grace's end, more than anything else. And obviously on Grace, her reasoning for attacking Brantley is because he feels very spited, because, you know, given that to the whole stuff related to links and all that. You know what I mean, you know what I mean. Right, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. But, you know, we'll have to wait, right? We'll have to wait how things play out. And it's nuts. I don't know why I said it. I don't know. Sorry, guys. It's going over the queen, so there wasn't much exciting thing. So, hey, we may now finally boil queens down to one clip rather than multiple clips. And there's also this whole thing with about Xylee. And Xylee and Becky probably going to go at it. Whose side am I on? Neither. I am on the side of watching them burn each other down and me just enjoying this. Let's move on to Rewind with competing with Queens. It's going to be a long one.
Okay, I didn't know if...
Oh, well.
How did she get in trouble? What happened? Did she get in trouble? I didn't know if you dropped a present on my doorstep today with this 4-hour stream. But this delicious present, Sweet Tea says, "Hey, Bailey, I wanted to say something about that voice chat the other day." This was last night. The way I was asked to record a video to flirt with your friend, and then, guys, take this all with a grain of salt, please. And then some guy in the chat suggesting to fly me out to get him laid was really uncomfortable and crossed the line. When I asked if this was basically prostitution, which she didn't ask it, for the way, you said, "You want the job, right?" Which was not said.
Yeah.
And she said, "That really shocked me. Whether it was meant as a joke or not, it made me feel like I was being treated more like a pawn than a person, and that's not okay." And to be fair, I could see why she might have felt like she was a pawn in this situation, because we were proposing an idea that she could do to possibly be in a matchmaking scenario. We were matchmaking her. Like, that's what this was. And that's not okay. So she felt like a pawn in a matchmaking proposition. Hey, I'm sorry, but guess what? I'm going to tell the story from my side, and we'll show how starkly different this was. And she said, "That's not okay. I came to Lolcow to work and contribute creatively, not to be asked to use my body or sexuality for a job opportunity. That's inappropriate and disrespectful. And I don't want to be part of anything like that. It's not something I can just ignore. I felt like a piece of meat to you and Xylee and Roxy," which that's a name you don't want to drop. Roxy, maybe. Xylee, no.
I left because those two dumbass bitches were in the voice chat in the first fucking place because I didn't want to be in there with them two scumbags.
Xylee literally came in only to say, "Are they gone yet?" Nope, and then left. So, so just to name Xylee in this is wild.
Why would she think you was... Because she's fucking stupid and a shit starter. Why does she think I was doxing her? Why would she think I was doxing her?
And this wasn't in a private call. This was in the Discord full of people. I got the job. Now she goes to Glow. "I got the job without having to entertain you and your friends trying to get King Cobra laid, and can thank Keem for that." Now you can say my friend I was talking about was King Cobra. And I responded with, "That was definitely not our intentions. Sorry you felt that way about it. I thought it would be an awesome matchmaking opportunity for the both of you. That would also happen to be conversation worthy within the Lolcow universe. Now that you're using accusatory words like this, I'm going to be taking this public tonight for full transparency. Sorry again you took it this way." One second.
I'm happy to be awake for Rewind tonight. Heart emoji. RWO.
RWO, Lily Messiah, appreciate you. Appreciate all the support and love you always give us and everybody else in the LCU universe. You, Lily, tonight I'm going to crown you, Lily, the RWO queen. Cheers to you, Lily Messiah. Our RWO queen tonight. And I said, "Sorry you again took it this way. It was fully explained not to be our intentions. Good luck in the LCU."
What do you mean by that?
Good luck to her in the LCU. I'm not going to be talking to her no more. I'm not going to be talking to her. I'm not going to be working with her anymore in a capacity of me offering her ideas. So here's what happened last night. Roxy was in the Rewind voice chat because we were popping in the Rewind voice chat. Streams for real dating, because that's literally what the entire proposition was about. Not slut shading. Not you know what? I got to say something. Sweet Tea, your content, because either you're a manipulative witch or dumber than shit. So I love you here in the LCU.
Two things can't be true at once. Sorry. Were you traumatized when you were shaking your ass up on test?
I'm doing what I want to do, you know.
And I'm doing what I want to do too.
I bet you are, baby girl. I bet you are. Just like you wanted to send him that message to make him feel bad for you, huh?
Not gonna work.
I wanted to send him that message because I was afraid that it would continue. Y'all would ask me if I wanted to do something with him. It was basically my resignation from accepting the deal to go with him.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Do you have a crush on Billy? Like, I feel like that might be it. Right, really? This is what we're going with it? This is where we're going with it. I mean, she's running to you to about her feelings. And she's like, "Listen, I need a hug." So you tell somebody that you have a crush on that they're trying to prostitute you? Is that a pickup line now?
Well, I
did.
You have to admit that I said that. I said, "Are you saying you want me to prostitute for a host role?" I said that in the chat.
And what did he say to you?
Yes, and there was messages from the chat from the same time where people was like, "Oh, it's not prostitution and stuff," because I said that.
Well,
I felt very
definitely did not paint that picture at all.
Did Billy say, "You want the job, don't you?" Did he actually say that to you, or are you just phrasing it like that? Because that's
RWO for
I was thinking about
I love this show. I always tune for the most part. And thank you for the lullaby the other night. I slept like a baby.
About to have a really, really, really good night. You're the red.
Don't.
It's the red. He's got a little dono. All right. So yeah, I did not say you want the job, right? I did not say that. I know I didn't say that. That's not who I am. That's
why I put in quotes, because I'm not for sure what you
That's why you put in quotes. Usually quote what somebody says exactly. You're wild, Sweet Tea. You're a hoot. You know that, right?
Like people say I put in quotation marks if they don't know.
That means quoting them as in that's the exact words they use.
You know what? Things might not work out with you and my friend King Cobra. Have you met a guy named Cyrex?
Oh my god.
He might be a little more your speed.
He might be the devil, you asshole.
Yeah, but the way you're acting right now, I think he might be for you.
I maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I don't know. I have really strong feelings. I had,
Saul Goodman, YouTube member for 2 months, says, Sweet Tea, you got to learn the hard way. I'm a swig for that pig, Saul Goodman. You know how we do here in the RWO. We swig for our pigs. Cheers to you, Saul Goodman. Hey, Kylie, I want to steal from lolcowlive. You know on lolcowlive, every time they get a pay pig, they pretend they get shot. Here on lolcowrewind.
Can I pretend to do the shooting?
No, every time we get a pay pig, we have to pretend to suck a dick.
Lila's gangsta is being tested. She is about to cook.
So actually, I have a question for Sweet Tea. Since you did twerk in front of Grim, how do you feel about him getting fired?
Well, you know, I thought he was a spoiled rich boy, so everything that I ever said to Grim was like, I kind of had to fudge it. Nightmare told me to come on there and help him out, but I think Ron's a genuine good guy, but...
Wait. Nightmare told you to come up there and help him out? Thank you.
Yeah, I believe he messaged me that day and told me to come on.
After finding out that I was going to have you as a guest on Dolls. Okay.
Wait, what?
After he found out that I was going to have you as a guest on Dolls.
I can't anymore, bro. The night that I was on Aussie, that's the night I'm talking about. The night that I did, I didn't really twerk. I just showed my butt. Or
was it?
my hips. Oh, yeah, Tess, I'm sorry. Was it Tess? Yeah. Yeah, I was on Aussie before it that day, right? Okay, that was the same day Nightmare asked me to come on.
And I think it's the same day or the day after that I said you're going to be a guest on Dolls.
Could be.
I don't know who I'm more mad at in this situation, you and Roxy or her. As in Sweet Tea. I don't know who I'm more angry at. Because where you and Roxy, I don't understand how y'all didn't think that was going to happen by talking to this stupid bitch.
Oh, here's the difference. I don't care that this happened.
I do care, because why did you put my name in that message?
Because she's a bitch.
I wasn't there when I left.
The reason I did the first thing I seen was your name on there when I went in, and then the last thing I heard when I left is you saying bye.
Yeah, because I left, because I didn't want to be in a voice chat with you and Roxy, so why did you put my name in it?
To my knowledge, you were in it.
Well, you were wrong.
If I was wrong, I was wrong.
Yeah, you are. You're always wrong. That's the problem. You're never right. And that's what's funny about you.
Yeah.
Danny says, I bet Nightmare was in her ear to make her accuse Billy. Jason says, I hope Grim has a real good night.
Okay, let's get into this fun stuff. So first, Rewind did a 4-hour stream. As this video is being recorded, it should be done by now. It's 11:57 in the afternoon. It's about to be 12 o'clock in the morning in 3 minutes. So 2 minutes now. Let's get into the first part of Rewind. Mostly was focusing around the whole situation between Sweet Tea and Billy, which is, let's be real, Sweet Tea, it's comical in the sense that she is becoming a lolcow even more closely like Popstar, which they mentioned that Popstar can rival Becky one day, which would be entertaining as hell. Imagine two people like them just going at each other's throats. But this whole situation with these two currently right now, it has to do with Billy being accused of prostitution and pimping, which I'm very confused because of all the things you can accuse of Billy, that's not one of them. But then again, let's be fair, if that ever did happen with any of these LCU people, would it surprise you? No. But I guess that's slander in their eyes. Now, later on, Sweet Tea got in her feelings and she got mad. And later on, believe it or not, Billy got extremely into his own film. But we'll get into that when we get into it. So it's crazy. This was very, very, very crazy for me to watch. Right. Obviously, probably keeping her around because of a goal that was met and her fully getting higher on dolls was... Let me be very real and very honest about all of this. This is why you should always be careful with the people you hire or the people you let on your servers when you let idiots like these. But then again, this is the LCU, right? This is the LCU and everything. You have these idiots running around doing stuff like that. And it's not going to get any better. Right, even Zali can acknowledge that. I agree with her that things won't get any better with Sweet Tea. It may eventually erupt at a point where it will eventually backfire so hard that damage control will be out of the roof. It will be in space, given the way Sweet Tea acted. I mean, we already see it. We already saw it with Becky, and we're gonna slowly see it with, Sweet Tea. I mean, not Sweet Tea, Popstar. Hell, the whole thing that happened with Grim getting fired and everything was just like, damn. This may probably blow into something that may really start to negatively affect the LCU. But then again, that's what you get, right? When you just hire any rando on Discord, you get people like this. And I do kind of agree with I guess like Tina said that you have these random people, not even Tina, but a lot of people said this, but it's like at the same time you're kind of gatekeeping if you don't at least give people an opportunity. Let's move on.
I'm proud of him, and then I saw what he did with nerds when he could have chose to have them fired, and I thought to myself, I'm going to stand up and say something because I think he made the wrong move. And I said something. And then I shut up. I took myself out of it. And I only say things when I think it could be helpful. And when he came at me with the Diog joke, I went scorched earth because, don't tell me what to do, right? It's that simple. Don't tell me what to do. That's with anybody, though. I would have done that to my own fucking mom, not just Nightmare. And I'll have that energy with everybody. So here now, I hope that the future with Nightmare is bright. I got a love for him that won't ever die. And I hope he does the best with what he's got handled here. He's got a second chance. I hope he kills it. But
same here.
I'm not gonna pretend like things were not terrible between us, because it was fucked up. He called me a vile piece of shit to cover his own ass, right? And a lot of the test fans came and attacked me and looked down on me and said, "Oh, it's just Billy, because nobody can fucking talk to Billy. Nobody can go against Billy," right? They vilified Billy when this fucking guy was on a power trip and made Billy the bad guy. So there is some animosity there, right? But I'll get over it. When I stood up for Michelangelo, I stood up for Michelangelo because I saw a little guy going against a bunch of people that didn't care about the little guy. And I was the big guy that had the little guy's back. And I'm okay with that. I will always stand up for the little guy. I won't forget what everybody did to that little guy. I won't forget that. And I hope that everybody that was a part of that doesn't forget that either. Right? This is a learning lesson for everybody that was a part of that. Everybody here is a human being. We're all here to have fun, but there's a cost to everything. When I had Sweet Tea on here tonight, she was accusing me of some of the worst shit in the fucking world, right? And still, I cared about her feelings to the end of that shit. And when she left here, I tried to make sure that I didn't destroy her. I tried. Because I know the power I wield in this universe. Not the LCU, in the fucking world. I bring it here to the LCU. Because if I leave here, I'm still going to be Billy. And I appreciate everybody who watches. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody who hates me or loves me, everybody who pays attention here. Because I ain't here forever. But while I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you, Chroma. I'm here for everybody watching. Because I'll tell you what, if I wasn't here, I'd be for whoever else I was there for. I'd be there for my family. I'd be there for my niece and nephew who I don't see enough. I'd be there for my mom who I don't see enough. I'd be there for everybody else in my life who I don't see enough. And you know who you are. The time I spend here is precious to me because I give up time to be here. And I don't fuck around like that. So you're welcome, and thank you for spending your time with me. JP's 48, thank you for the grifted. That one shot got me good, Xylee. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Are you doing good? I was say, are you all right? You
Nah,
doing good?
nah. I got caught in my feelings.
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that either.
All week I've been told I was a piece of shit for defending the little guy.
You ain't a piece of shit, Billy.
Hi, Rostov.
Hello.
Everybody else shut the fuck up and didn't care. They knew it was bad. And I had to make those little jokes so it could be heard. Rostov, you know it was bad too. But like what we were supposed to do, right? You knew it was bad. But I was like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with it?
We spent ages talking about like.
So we had a very rare moment where Billy got into his emotions. I don't really give a shit. I don't really feel bad for the guy. I understand where he's coming from. But what's the thing about this? How many times has the LCU attacked people or falsely accused people? Let's remember that the LCU took down 2 people at channel, and if Ruby's not careful, and I hope she becomes a little bit more careful, that you never know, they will target her next. Right, Billy goes on, and maybe I'm being a little too harsh about the Michelangelo situation, right? And maybe Billy does care about these people. But would that be kind of Paracelso on his end? Right, they went on this whole thing about this Paracelso and this whole cult thing. Yet they're the one who kind of brought it into it, right? Maybe I'm wrong for having that opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe this is Billy's attempt to sort of like do some damage control and steer the ship. Right, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. So the cult doesn't get more accused of being more cultist. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a lot of the offhanded stuff that happens in the LCU. It's mostly due to Keem not being able to have an eye on them at all times. Maybe it's sort of Rastov inability to even do his own job. Right, even Rastov even straight up admit that he's gonna have to get a whole team of people whose whole job is to make sure people are not saying things that they're not supposed to. right? I think I want to leave this part of Rewind because we will. Twiggy's back on Ozzy. Must be entertaining. We also know there's some stuff that may happen between CD-ROM and Glammy. I'll see what that happened, and obviously, I can't wait to see the stuff that's gonna happen on Tests with Michelangelo. Right? You could get into your feelings all you want. At the end of the day, and it's sad that people do get screwed over like this. But the internet does, as even they would say that the internet doesn't care about your feelings. Billy can get emotional, can be very open, but as they said, the internet doesn't care about your feelings. And I think Billy acknowledged that. Maybe Billy is saddened that he couldn't do anything about it and prevented this, which he could have. Maybe he should have went to Michelangelo early on and asked a lot more deeper questions and even straight up just call out the boys for, hey, I think what you're doing may not be ethical. Maybe what you're doing is wrong. Right? It could be a bit of guilt on Billy and I can see where that's coming from. And maybe I'm being too harsh. But should I be when we're dealing with the LCU and everything they do and the questionable things they've done? Maybe I'm in the wrong. Should you feel bad for these people so you have some form of sympathy? I don't know. That's up to you guys. But we gotta move on.
The other side of it, it makes sense, right? Like, when you show a different perspective that you're not seeing, because you get so personally fucking attached in these scenarios, right? Like, with the hosts, when especially meeting them, you do form like a strong connection with them. So when something goes wrong, and they call you out in there, you genuinely you can't help but take it fucking personally. And I think that was my number one issue. Was not just looking at it from a point of this is this is you fucking up. They're just trying to help you. It was fuck them. And I think I've had that mentality for far too long. Especially like the last few weeks. Yeah, definitely. My brain has just very much been like in constant defense mode, especially the last week. And like I did let a lot of stuff get to me. I let like certain situations from the outside come in. And just like, I let those things expose a little bit, which I shouldn't have. We're all fucking adults here, you know what I mean? Like, I could have dealt with that far fucking better. Most days I do. It's very rare that I generally have like a mental break. It's just, I think this week, along with other shit that's going on, it just fucking got a bit too much. It's got a little bit too heavy, and that's no one else's problem, bar myself. I'm more than willing to admit that. Comments could have cost you court and possibly legal issues. I want to cover that real quick. What other people say I won't get arrested for in the UK. Okay, I want to make that clear. Yeah, don't get me wrong. What he said was fucking stupid. I disavow obviously. But that wouldn't have got me arrested. Okay, because it's not my fucking words. All right. I just want to make that abundantly clear. And Red, you are absolutely fucking right, mate. Keem probably wasn't going to fire him. But the way he doubled down, the way he dealt with that was just so fucking insane. And it's something I still can't process in my head. You know what I mean? I genuinely can't process that at all. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. You left him no choice. Yeah, he did. I don't appreciate how he dealt with that. It hurt. Because it's not like...
Grim is now a cash cow emoji. Grim celebrates 5 months of membership. You'll be fine without me, bro. My decisions shouldn't tarnish your successful future. I'll always be here to watch your success. Love our testes !! !Win ! !Neon test ! !Win ! !Neon test ! !Win!
One second. Whew. Just sorry guys, give me a second.
Q yes super chatted.
So I woke up and I heard most of what I needed to hear on tests, right? So Nightmare gave, for the most part, for a good hour, an hour and a half, he gave that's just how he felt about the whole situation with Grim. And you can tell that he's really upset. And this lasted for a good hour and 20 minutes, and then like the rest of the show, which is how you typically expect it. I'll get into that towards the end. Before we move on, Ozzy, whatever. I didn't really care too much about Ozzy. It's interesting to see Twiggy and Steak. I think they're gonna have to rename the show, which I'll get into now. It's whatever. I know they're gonna have to rename it because there's no actual Australians in there, unless they're gonna call it something completely different with the same tone. Let me be real with you. I don't even know what half of these shows are like. And I know I'll get into a rant about it one day, but it's like, what even is Milkers, right? It may as well be at this point Low Count IRL, right? Just rename Milkers to Low Count IRL, right? Live makes sense. Rewind makes sense. Queens sort of still makes sense, right? But what the hell is even Aussie? Like why aren't you guys focusing on like Australian locales like Rasta, which is hilarious for me to say that, a lot. But like even then, what about the others? Like Nerds is Nerd, Cafe is Cafe, but like that's about it. Dolls is just a girl. Dolls is basically younger, modern, hipster, lolcow queens. That's really what it is. And I know I wasn't meant to go on a long tirade, or I'm not planning to go into a tirade about this, right? Because, one day I will probably on stream. I'll just go on how I feel about these shows and what I feel like too many of these shows. There are these shows, and only a very few of these shows are really kind of following the name. But again, not right now. So in local tests, or they're calling it short bus for the rest of the week. I'm just gonna call it tests because it's easier. Once again, Nightmare gave out his personal feelings and how he felt, and you can see it in his eye just by his mannerism, just how upset he is. And you can't really blame him. Him and Grim really did develop a strong brotherly love. And I think that's something that is important. I know people mocked Grim and Nightmare for having sort of this homoerotic relationship. And maybe I'm going to get a little bit of pushback or shit on this. And I know I thought like, oh, maybe Grim was like a homosexual, which I still kind of think he is, but maybe that added more fuel to the fire because a lot of people have been saying that he purposely made these kind of jokes just because he just didn't care anymore, which is I can agree on. But just by the way Nightmare is acting, that is the way he is something you only find with people who treat each other like brothers and not like romantic relationships. That's how I see it. And I think maybe some people would disagree. Do I think that like, oh, down the line they could have been some weird type of, homosexual couples? Honestly, kind of just looking at everything, I don't think so. I think just the way Grim acted, I don't think there's enough of that genuine like romantic emotion there for Grim to give to, like, let's say the case of Nightmare. And maybe some people will disagree with me, but I just think because the way this is happening, the way he is acting, I personally do. I personally do think that the way Nightmare is, he really did treat Grim like a friend, like a brother. And he is very upset that, like, this is the same situation we saw with Savage on Milkers, right? There is really no Milkers without Savage. Even with Becky there now, I'll tell you this right now. It is becoming stale with Becky on Milkers. Only thing that is keeping me from watching that show is just Roxy doing some of the IRL stuff. That is the only thing that is keeping me watching Milker. I know people who only watch Milkers for Savage and Roxy, and with her out of the way, there's nothing there. Right? It's sort of how, like, early queens without Grace or Link just didn't feel right. Like, there's something clearly missing. Or Wings not in live. I don't know where the direction the show would go. I think that Nightmare is going to do his best to keep the same momentum and energy for the next couple of weeks. Because he's admitted that he is putting everything into it. And I respect that. Right? And it's something I have to make it clear that just because I don't like these guys, and I don't, I could still respect their dedication or what they're trying to do. Right? But back to Nightmare's emotions. And I think he took a moment to reflect. Now, later on, Steak and Twiggy will be involved. Michelangelo was there, or Angelo, I'm just going to call him that. He was just there for a set piece for most of it. He did talk later on. I am going to be real with you. Don't get out of the way now. I don't think Michelangelo is a good fit for this show. He said he wants something more like Rewind and Nerd. And I can see that. And even then, no. I don't get it. I think they just hired him because they felt bad. I think that the only reason he even become an intern and became a host was because of all of this. If the host stuff, the stuff they did to him was not even a thing, he would have not been a host. He wouldn't be an intern. He would still have to go through a whole round of auditions. And I'm just being truthful. I know he has his fans. He has people who like him and support him. I personally don't see it. I think unlike Eric, I'll give Eric this one. At least Eric knew how to just throw himself into the conversation. And it's only his first day, so I shouldn't be as critical at all. But I'm a bit of a detractor. And as I said, when we talk about the LCU, standards are not a thing half the time. But let's keep moving.
Ah, fuck, dude. I'm pissed. I'm upset. I don't have a boss who's gonna tell me what I can and can't say. I'm pissed for a different reason. I don't want to cause drama on here, right? I don't give a shit what Grim said. I don't give a fuck, dude. Fuck it. Dark jokes exist. You guys can't take it. I love you, chat. I see you in there. Tech for Test as OG Salt. Look, it's a tough time trying to manage a community like this for Keemstar. I get it. Hey, there's a brand to protect. It's not just does the humor fit for Lolcow Test? Yeah, it works well, right? But does it fit for every other brand that's on here on the same platform? Probably not. So it's not like an unreasonable thing to do.
No, like I said, the whole doubling down thing just fucked it, right? It just really fucked it. It is what it is. There's nothing that I can do to change that. The only thing we can do is just be like, you're a fucking retard for that, mate, and move on. And like I said, there's so many things that are coming up that I can't wait to show people. All the IRL stuff is happening. It's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it. Well, yeah, I'll have to look for a new co-host and stuff. But we're gonna, I will do things on my own until we find the right person. I don't want someone that's not gonna fucking do the crazy shit that I want to do, because that's what Test is. Test is doing the fucking absurd, the unusual, the strange. You know what I mean? Like doing fucking stupid practical stunts. Like the whole reason I got these fucking darts here for my 5-finger fillet with a dart at a festival. You know what I mean? So fucking it's gonna be pretty fucking gnarly to do that. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Grim Super Shatty $5, $500 dono to support my boy Nightmare, and I'll hop on Madhouse for shits and giggles.
Do it, Grim. Do it.
Look, you know, I've been a supporter of Tess since the fucking jump. Even when, you know, Jaffe was on the platform with Jay and they were fucking with you guys, well, fucking with Grim specifically, pulling him in and out of rooms, like, and then fucking with you, right? It's been
Lucifina just
like,
gifted one to our testes.
Welcome, Lucifina. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Lucitina.
Lucifina. I've loved you guys. You guys have been fantastic. You guys are entertainers through and through. The community loves you, right? I was pissed to see the hate that they were giving your biggest supporters in the Discord.
It was wild, the like parasocial harping and stuff like that, because it's like you can use that analogy for every single show, right? Like there are shows that are just die hard for these people, and that's fucking fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are people that just fucking really, really love these shows and they care about them. They grow, and you know, when you're listening to two people talk every day, and a lot of them are speaking about experiences in themselves, like life experiences, you know, talking about fun stuff they like to do and stuff. You get to know them, and it does make some form of parasocial link, I suppose, to a degree. But to like harp up of like our entire community is all parasocial, like fucking crazy people that just don't think we can do any wrong. I don't think that's true at all. I've been called out multiple fucking times for when I've flown off the handle in the test VC. Like, there's multiple, like, they like, someone will be like, yeah, I get what you're saying. You could have dealt with that a lot better. Someone will be like, you're a fucking retard, dude. You know what I mean? Jess, whose mic are you asking me to turn up? Wait, is it Tex? Tex fucking,
not mine.
It might be yours. We fixed you up quite quiet, even though I
Is
am
it?
51%. Let me just, that should be fine.
So Tech Protect, interesting enough, actually, I don't know. Sorry, Tech Protect. It's probably one of the very few people who just straight up just said like, I didn't give a shit about what his remarks was. Hey, props to him. I ain't gonna stop him for, you know, for saying that. You know, hell, even Jaffrey probably wouldn't give a shit if you said that to his face. You know, I think that's something. I mean, let's be 100% real. If Local Dark was still around, I would 100% believe that Tech Protect probably would have gotten kicked out because of his remarks, his comments. And I think to kind of get down to it all, do I think Keemstar personally gave a shit about it? I don't think so. I'll be real with you. I'll be 100% real with you. This whole thing, and I'll get into it towards again. I think Keemstar doesn't give a shit about it. I don't think Keemstar gives a fuck about it. Only thing he's trying to do is protect the show and the image of the show. And that's all what it is. Meanwhile, mind you, the last couple of weeks or last couple of days, all the other hosts kind of said some questionable remarks. You know, Zeta Ray literally dropped the F word. If we're going to go deeper, especially when we're going to deal with TOS, right, and just all these slurs. I mean, One Buff We literally said the N-word, right? I'm just saying, in the end, it's like, you know, the standards, and I think this is how I feel, and I think Grim knows that, right? Grim knows that it doesn't matter. I'm trying not to curse too much. Grim knows it doesn't matter. Because he sees how the other hosts are like, and I think in that moment he was just like, no, I want to be different. I want to break away from it. And I think at this point, he was just exhausted. He was just tired with everything that was going on, and he just didn't care. And you can just tell. I don't think he's going down any particular political route anytime soon. I just think he doesn't care. He's just like, what it is, right? You know, and you can't blame a guy. And I think in a way, Tech Protect probably would have gotten kicked off he would have probably got kicked off his shows for the same type of remark, right? And I forgot about Steak. I felt like Steak was trying to do his best to liven, you know, to change the mood, to make things better. You know. Could have worked, but I felt it would have just been better to let him soak. Right? It would be better just for him to just cry and soak. Not as like, oh, cry and weep, cope and seed. I mean, we could still do that. What I'm trying to say is like, you know, hey, like let the man just have a moment to himself. Let him just like be who he is. Right? Just let him have his moment. You know. That's the best thing I can say. Right, that's the best I can really say. Just let the man have his moment to himself. Question, you know. I don't really know what I can say about it. Most of the rest of Tess was just really Nightmare and Michelangelo just talking to people and trying to really just up the vibe. And again, that's really it. Now we're gonna end this with Tech Talk, and I know Tech Talk, and I know Tech Talk is still going on as I am still recording this. I'm just gonna just go into it now anyway.
Next, you had gone on Dolls that day, and as the show was starting, I was pinging you, begging you to tell Beans the truth, to tell her I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to get her involved. She's going through her own stuff. She needs to go through that without the pressure of the community dogging on her, and the last thing she needed was to have some guy she doesn't know flirting with her when she's quote unquote on the rebound. That's not fair to her, and I maintain that that's not fair to her. Okay? That's why I was asking you, please don't do that. Go on the show and talk, have a good time, but please don't do that to her. You did it anyway. And whether or not that's your fault, I think it's your fault entirely? Probably not. It sounds like you had... Ugh, God. It sounds like there were donation goals on that side of the fence too. All throughout the show, I'm pinging you, begging you to stop. I'm saying stop. Stop messing with her. Stop rallying her community against her. I'm watching her hyperventilate on screen. I'm going, stop. Stop. Why are you doing this to her? Like, I'm begging everybody to stop messing with her. And nobody's listening. And when I get to that point where nobody's listening, I'm upset. Because now you're invoking my name to mess with somebody else, and I can't get everybody to stop and do the right thing. And you doubled and tripled down on it and got her, and you rallied her community against her, and with the donation goals to get her to flirt with me, which I'm certain she didn't want to do. And you kept saying, oh, CD's gonna love this. CD's gonna feel great about this Riz note. It's like, I didn't feel great about it. She didn't want to send that to me. I didn't feel great about her being forced to say all that stuff to me. Those are my honest feelings in the moment. And what I did wrong, Glammy, was that I no joke, I raked you over the coals the next day. And when I looked back on that, you know what, I'm not even gonna say probably. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have talked to you the way that I talked to you, and I greatly apologize. And I apologize in the face of all the things that have that the way the situation has evolved over the weekend, because there's a lot of things that have changed. I felt very strongly one way about it, and now I feel differently. I'm not telling you it's all for nothing. If I don't know. 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 I don't know what else I need to say. I don't know. I can't, Glenn, I can't look you in the eye and tell you that the opportunity differently than I would. I don't know. And the reason I can't tell you is because that crash out did wonders for our show. It got us noticed by Keemstar, and things changed, and they changed very rapidly. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what the right answer is. I'm afraid to say anything to you because you're gonna crash out about it. Where's my hat? I don't want this anymore. Like, this isn't what I want for this show. I don't want to be here. Not doing the show. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this scenario. I don't want to be presented with something that I have to analyze the moral boundaries of them before I act on them. But sometimes I have to. It still felt like.
So for the most part, most of Tech Talk right now is just CD-ROM just letting out his feeling about everything. In my honest opinion is, dude, you're in the LCU, grow a fucking parabol. You're gonna complain, you're gonna bitch. Do you think things are worse now? No, things can easily be worse later on. And I think he's trying to be offensive. He's trying to play it safe. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this is the LCU where everybody is a double standard in the making, or a hypocrite, right? You can't be this moral, good 2D2 person when you're working with kid behind the camera who's, here's a PDF file, right? You can't do that when you're working with Keemstar, who is notoriously known for, drama, right? And with the whole bunch of stuff that's going on, I'm just saying, you trying to be this goody good person, and it's just not working out. And I feel like what they're doing right now is trying to make him crash out. This is how this whole stream. Now again, I'm recording it midway through their stream. And it's just how, and to be fair, I could probably take anything from the rest of their stream, replace the clip I already placed already, and it still would have been the same. My feelings would have still been the same. I would even say that I haven't gone hard enough because, like, I think he complains too much. He bitches too much. He does this. He does that. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're trying to do in the LCU, but there's other people who want your spot more. Michelangelo, which I forgot to mention, wanted to be on techtalk. You know, would be cool. Well, not really, actually. No, because, like, if I'm going to watch techtalk, I want to go watch techtalk for the tech show. Which, honestly, let me be real with you, I would prefer RTU over CD-ROM. Why? And I'm not the biggest RTU fan. I'm not. But RTU has something about him that makes him addicting to watch sometimes. Especially if you're just trying to kill time or try to do something in the background. There's times where I watch, RTU when I'm just reading a book or when I'm building a gun club, right? Or whatever. And he's still more enjoyable. There's sort of this thing about RTU that makes him very endearing, even if I don't like the guy. And CD-ROM doesn't have that. And I feel like that the worst thing about these shows is that they've replaced good talent when they have it, and it just backfires. CD-ROM could be a good host, and he easily could, but it's just like, dude, you're in a network that is notoriously known for faking drama, creating drama with among the hosts, fake firing, a lot of remarks that are, to a lot of people, borderline racist and anti-Semitic, and you're grandstanding constantly, and it's like you're just being a child, right? In Keemstar opinion of you will change the moment you're on prime time. He's just gonna be like, what are you doing? Why aren't you talking about that? And you're gonna be like, well, I don't have to. Like, yes, you do. That's how it's gonna be. If you move him to any other time, he'll probably be like, well, I don't want to talk about this. And like, well, you're gonna have to talk about it, because he was already anal about talking about the whole Bean situation. He only reason he got away with it was because he was so late into the night that Keemstar, just like Tess, he doesn't watch. He just doesn't watch. I don't know what else I can say, but I guess I'll get into my final thoughts now about everything. Truthfully and honestly, in the term of Tess will still be going. I think the show is going to be carried well by Nightmare, and I hope he find another host. I'm not saying Michelangelo. I'm going to actually lie. Michelangelo is not a really good fit. I just don't see it. I just don't see it, right? It's not like Glammy where I can see the entertainment factor. CD-ROM, as much as I bitch and complain, I think if he was not in a network or not having to deal with constant drama, like when things are slow, he's probably going to shine a lot better. But when things are heated and there's a whole bunch of shit going around, he's probably going to be like a plank of wood in the ocean, around termites. I don't know where I'm going with that. And as much as people can say about Glammy, at least Glammy knows what to do. Glammy knows the rules, the protocol. Like she's up and up with everything. I don't know what else I can say, but hope you guys like this video. This video may end up coming out much earlier. So if I said this video was gonna come out later, I'm gonna change that and say this video is gonna come out a lot more earlier. If we are lucky, probably around, I don't know, maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. But till then, have a go and be safe. And as always, God bless and get a lot of sleep, because I sure know I didn't get any sleep.